Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Python Essentials, Unlocking the Power of Libraries. So before I move ahead with one of the very interesting topics today, I would like to recapitulate a bit of what we have done in the last classes. So we have started off with a very basic introduction to the Python, need for programming, why do you think it is necessary to study Python, and then we studied what are the key features of the Python. Along with it, we did some career opportunities which will become more feasible to you if you opt for Python today. Then we did a very simple way how to install Python on your systems, on your local systems. And then we did how to work with Python. There are two ways how to work in Python. The first is interactive way. The number two is the script mode. Then we saw there are many there are numerous code editors and IDEs available if you want to work on Python. Along with it, we can also work with Python using some online coding environment which I've just listed and we have discussed in the previous classes. Along with it, we saw how we install IDE, and we saw three methods how to set up your environment on your local system, which is very important if you are working on the projects. For the next few classes, I will not use this environment concept. The reason being, we are just in the learning phase, we are just a beginner, and I just want to make sure that you first have a good hold on the basic commands, on the Python syntax, and a few more, the backbone of the Python, the syntax, and how do you use the statements, how do you program. Okay, so once we will be well versed with all of that stuff, I'll move ahead and I'll show you how I use environment, but we will finally move to the libraries part. All right, so yeah, so again we did three methods, and my favorite is definitely a Conda, which is a package manager, the same as pip. And along with it, we saw how we can write our first Python code, the simple print statement. Just use the print statement and try to print the hello world, right? That is what we have seen. So next what we saw was the Python syntax. We have certain rules. The first rule was indentation rule, that you need to have certain spaces if you are using if statements, while statements. That again we'll do in the next classes. And yeah, we have certain keywords which you cannot use as variables. You cannot use as the name of the variables. Then how do you write comments? Why do you use comments? And strings, how do you define strings? So we use commas. You can use single, double, or triple commas if you want to work with the strings. If you want to define, you want to print the strings, that is how we can do. Multi-line statements, very easy. Okay students, that is something we have already covered. So for today, I have this very interesting and often it is feared by students, like what is Git? I think most of you must have heard of this GitHub online if you are a computer science student, engineering student, and if you're well versed with it, it's very fine. If you do not know, I have some very easy way to grasp this concept. All right. So in order to learn Git, we have various ways how to do it. But in our class, for our course, I'll teach you the easiest and the simplest of all the ways, so that you can gain confidence over this concept, that this is not a tough one, and I'll try my best to explain you in the simplest way possible, right? So let's get started. First of all, okay, so we have two terms over here. We have two terms, which is GitHub for desktop. Okay, so here we are students, we will study the version control with the Git. Now what is Git? We have two terms, we have Git and GitHub. What do you think is the difference between these two terms? If you know, if you do not know, let's go. So just see on this slide, I have prepared this slide very nicely for all of you. So Git is the version control system. What do you understand by a version control system? Let me explain you with a very simple example. Say for instance, this is the version 1 of my project. I'm working on some project. My teammates are also in the project. Well, if I talk about the first version, I completed this version in January, right? And this is the version 2. I completed this version in the month of February, right? So what really happened is, in this 1 month gap, I have added some new features in the version 2. Okay, but at the end of this month, my boss said, okay, Sabrina, this is not fine, and I think we should discard all the changes because we no longer need these changes. Okay, so so I'll be very confused. I mean, how can I go back to the previous version of this January version, this V1 version? So the one obvious thing is that you keep on saving the project at every step. Okay, I've made this one change, I've added this one feature, I'll keep this as a copy of my project, which is definitely not feasible if you have like 100 GB of project. Fine. So what is the optimal way is to use such a version control system. So what does version control system do? These basically track all the changes which you do in a particular project. They will keep a track of all these changes which you'll do in a particular project. So say you have made the 10 changes and you do not like the 6th change, you can definitely go back and remove that change. This is how easy it is. You need not save the multiple copies of the same or the similar project, right? So now you know why Git is required. This is the first advantage of using the Git or version control system, right? You can control the version using this one term, which is Git, right? Okay. Along with it, this was the first advantage, is you can go back or you can track. Even if you do not want to go back, you just want to see whatever changes you have made in your project each day or every month, right? You can do this with the help of Git. Okay, let me tell you another advantage. What is the another advantage of using it? Say, for example, I have again a big project. I'm a developer and we have other developers in our company. So this is developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, and so on. I have so many developers, right? So this is the main project which I have. So this is the one feature which has been added by developer D3, and we have 2 features added by developer D2, and again one feature which is added by developer D1. And this is the main or the basic or the base of our project. So what will really happen is that if you are using the Git, if you have shared your project on a common platform and you are using the Git, you can track or you can do multiple changes or simultaneous changes on that particular project. This is what has been written over here. It allows multiple developers to work on the project simultaneously without interfering with each other changes. So whatever changes this D1 is making to the the base of the project, it will not interfere with the changes made by D2 because the features are different. Okay, I'm working with feature 1. For example, I'm working with the login page. The another one is working with the courses page. Okay, I have one LMS site, so I just want to work with the login. Another one is the courses page. Another one is the faculty page. So we have various features of a particular website, and I have multiple developers who are working to maintain these features. So even if I make the changes in the one feature, it will not be affected by changes made by other developer in another feature. So how do you do it? How do you think this is possible in today's world? It is only through the version control system. And for us, what is the version control system? That is the Git. I think it makes sense to you now. All right. So another term which I have is the GitHub. As the name itself suggests, it is a hub for all the Gits, right? So it is a web-based platform. It is just a house. It is just a hub where all the Gits are stored. It is a cloud-based hosting service for Git repositories, as simple as that. It provides a central location to store, manage, and collaborate on Git repositories. Alright, it is nothing. It is just a cloud-based thing where you can store your repositories, you can make changes, you can track changes. It is just to show what changes have been made using Git, using our version control system, right? And who shows that? Who does it? Our GitHub, right? All right. So this is the difference between two. Again, a very important, many a times this question is being asked in the interviews also, since students are new and you're not aware of this topic. All right, so you should know what is the difference between Git and GitHub. It is also commonly asked. So my question to you is, again, this is one web-based platform. Do we have another platforms also which can be used to work with Git? Do we have? I want you all to just Google it and look out for yourself if we have other platforms also. All right. So again, students, as I've told you, if you want to work with the Git, I have two ways. The first one is graphical user interface, which is an easier one, again good for beginners. And another way is using commands, using command line, right? So in our class, I will use the graphical user interface because you can only work with the commands once you are well versed with the graphical user interface concept. Okay. So for that, I have this application which is GitHub Desktop. This is a desktop application. So what I'll do, if I want to work with Git and GitHub, I will just download an application. I'll show you how it's being done. Fine. So just remember, it is nothing but a GUI application for managing Git repositories on GitHub from your local machine. And this is the easiest way if you want to learn the Git. If you look out for videos online, you will find videos which are not easy to understand, but we'll do it in the easiest way which is possible. Okay, it simplifies the Git workflow for users who prefer graphical tools over command line interfaces, again, as I've told you. Okay, so now let's come to the practical part, how it's being done. All right, so I just opened this link which says the version control system. It says the version control system. So yes, this is something we have done, also known as source control, practice of tracking and managing changes to software. I think this is very fine with us now. We know what a version control system is. How do you control the versions of our project, right? Okay, so next thing which I want all of you to do is just type GitHub for desktop for Windows. If you're using Windows, if you're using any other operating system, it's totally fine. Just open this link and download it for Windows, because I have Windows on my system, right? And along with it, what I want all of you to do is have a GitHub account. So if you do not have, I suggest you, it's as simple as going to github.com, press enter, and yeah, you can sign it up. If you already have it, you can sign in, and if you do not have it, I want all of you to have your own GitHub account. Okay, just sign up. Right. Along with it, this is my account. This is a bit old, and this is how it looks like. Once you have signed up, just you can add your photo, and you can add a brief description. You can look out for projects. What do you have here? You can search for all the projects which are available on the GitHub, right? So this is how, I mean, the interface will look like, the dashboard exactly will look like. And I hope all of you must have downloaded GitHub Desktop. So let us see, I've already downloaded. I will show you how this looks like. This is how my desktop looks like. Okay, so let us see the welcome page. The first, it says, what is a Git? Git is a version control system, very fine. GitHub is where you store your code and collaborate with others. And GitHub Desktop helps you work with GitHub locally. Okay, since I want to work on my local machine, I have already downloaded GitHub Desktop. And again, as you can see, it is a GUI, right? It will make everything easy for us to understand. Okay, if you want to get started, these are a few terms which we'll discuss. First of all, you need to have a text editor. I already have Visual Code Studio, and I think all of you also have the same one. Along with it, okay, the first term is creating a branch. Now, what is a branch? As I've told you, as we discussed in the slide, as we have 3 developers, developer 1, 2, 3. So what those are the branches of the main project. As simple as that. As in a way that we have branches of a tree, we have branches of a project. Similarly, we have branches here also. This is what it means over here. Next, what we have is if you want to edit some file, okay, you need to make a commit. So what is a commit? In English language, what does a commit means? Final. Okay. So what really happens is when you finally make all the changes in a project, and me being a developer 1, I will make all the changes in the feature 1, which is being allotted to me. Once I've made all the features on my local machine, what will be my final step? My final step will be to commit it finally online here, I mean on my cloud service, which is my GitHub, right? So once I commit it, it will be visible to all other developers which are available there, right? Okay, so once I make a commit, I'll make changes, and if I want to finally publish it, I will use the push command. Okay, so in the commit, if I make a commit, what I'll do, I'll make the final changes. Okay, and if I want to publish it, what I should do, I will press the publish button. If I want to, again, you need not get confused, since this term is, I understand this is completely new, and I'll show you with the help of example how this is being done. I mean the commit and publish, and again a pull request. Again, it will be way more clear if you will do it practically. Okay, so that's it for now. In the next class, we will see the practical application. How do we use Git and GitHub? Thank you.